we're going to get started a little early here with Austin Dillon, driver of the number 3, Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet. We're going to roll right into questions. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. We're going to start with Dustin and then go behind him.
Dustin Lopino, J-Ski. Austin, you're averaging the 3rd most points on this type of track, the shorter flat tracks, this year. Why do you feel like you excel at these types of venues?
It's a good question. Not sure. I feel like I'm comfortable with whatever we're doing with the cars and just confidence, giving good feedback. Guys are giving me good race cars, and it's just probably a strong suit for us right now at RCR, and I guess that's the best way to answer it. I do feel really comfortable and feel like my feedback is good.
And then you finished 6th here last year, and Kyle won here obviously the year before. So how much of an opportunity is this weekend to get above the cut line?
It's huge. You know, last week was very disappointing because I felt like we had a great week to capitalize. We really executed in practice and qualifying 9th. Like that was a big start for us, and we didn't do a great job in the race of taking advantage of that. So, I mean, I feel like we should be above the cut line because of all the stuff that went down last week, and we didn't. Execution was like the main word that I used probably at media day. So we didn't do it. We executed partly, half of it. Getting through that race was, we're only 8 away from the cut line, so it's not insurmountable. And I feel really good about these 2 races. So yes, Gateway is huge for us. I think that qualifying today, again, if we can execute like we did at Darlington, this is a place that it is tougher to pass than Darlington, and maintaining track position is a bit easier because of that, but you also have to do really good job in strategy and different things. But I think the past history of Kyle running really well here, winning the race. Last year we had a very fast car, and we're able to take advantage of that, finish 6th, like you said, and score stage points. So some stage points would be good in the top 10, and I feel like we're going into Bristol just above the cut line, and then we got to go do the same thing there.
Go ahead.
Hi, Austin. Owen Johnston, Cupscene.com. You've been fast at this point in the season, the end of the summer, this year and last year. What is it about RCR that do you kind of build up to the end of the summer, start of the playoffs, or is it just kind of the team getting fast at the right time?
It's funny. I think we come out swinging, and we kind of take a dip, and then we come back. So I think RC has to yell at us at the right time, I guess, and then we get going again. I don't know why that is. I'd really love to figure that out, solve for it, but at least we're finding speed at the right time, like you talked about, because I think that's key in this sport now, and in every sport, momentum is big, and so I'm proud of our organization for the speed that we have brought the last couple weeks. And you see Kyle and AJ run well last week, shows us that we were capable of doing that. We kind of got burnt last week on that last caution. I mean, we were on pit road when the yellow fell, and we were the wave around, and we had just started coming forward pretty good. We were up to 18th. I think we finished the race 14th if that cycle goes through.
We'll come up front to Bob.
Bob Hawkers, Fox Sports. There's been some talk about changing the rule next year for the fastest lap for the point, like whether you have to be on the lead lap or not. And
I saw that.
And I'm curious, you guys, you're probably somebody who loves, well, you don't love to be in the garage, but you're kind of love the challenge of getting the car back on track. It seems like,
yeah.
Kind of the old school racer mentality. So I'm curious how you view that. Like, is that a nice carrot to have in front of you, or do you feel like, yeah, if you're working on if your lap's down, you can throw new tires on it, run on low fuel, and get a fast lap, or do something to the car to get the fast lap?
So did Josh end up getting the fast lap last week?
Yeah.
And it counted toward the playoffs? It's a playoff, okay.
Not a playoff point, it's just a regular.
Not a playoff point, but it closes the gap for whoever's in front of him for the cut line.
Point,
yeah, that's impressive. So, yeah, I guess you don't want to be in that situation either way but it is a consolation prize in somewhat. So, yeah, they probably got to look at it as far as, is it the true fast lap of the race? That's probably the toughest part, because, yeah, you pump up the tires, you go rip one lap off, you're going to be quick time. It's just part of it. You're running qualifying air, low on fuel. I mean, you guys see what we do from practice to qualifying every week. and how much faster we go, yeah, it probably needs to be adjusted.
We'll go to Jeff.
Cindric was in here a little bit earlier, and he's making the case that like he doesn't really think these flat tracks are in the grouping that a lot of us perceive them to be, like that this track, New Hampshire, Phoenix are more different than, because we've all been sort of like lumping together, like, oh, Penske's good at the shorter flat tracks. What's your perspective on that? Like, when we watch this tomorrow, how much can we be like, all right, this guy was good here, so Phoenix, New Hampshire, they'll probably be good here. Like, how much does that really translate?
I think there is definitely connections to certain aspects. I think that this is like, I think I look at it more of like the asphalt degradation stuff. So like tracks that really burn up tires, and then tracks that like this has a high grip level, and I think Phoenix has a high grip level. So I look at Penske, like they consistently run at places that I feel like tires are less attractive in the situation. So like that's where I feel like they run well. Like you go to a higher degradation place, they seem to struggle a little bit in those places. But I wouldn't look at like if you run good here, I do not think that it really translates to New Hampshire at all, just because the asphalt is so old and rough, and this place is pretty smooth. So that's another part of it. Look at how smooth the track is, how rough a track is. Those things play more into what a company I feel like brings consistently to a track. Like who really has a good shock package, because the tracks are rough. If a smoother track, well, then they're probably a little more rigid than most places, and they really do a good job on their aero platform. Those are the type of things that I would look at instead of like lumping certain tracks together.
We'll go up here to the front.
Mitchell Kaminsky, ABC 17 News. I'm curious, what were your thoughts on Gateway getting added to the playoffs? And with turns 1 and 2 being so different than 3 and 4, what are some of the challenges this place presents?
Very different type of track. It's a cool track. I think you're shifting a lot more than most places here. Strategy is very important. 2 tires, no tires, fuel only, all come into play here. It is cooler than what we normally race here, so I think strategy is even that much more important. But it's a great facility. They give great gifts to the drivers. I got an awesome chrome bat with my name on it, and some cookies and all kinds of stuff. So they're like P1 on my charts for gifts so far. So yeah, it's a cool place.
Any final questions for Austin? We'll come back to Jeff for a follow-up and then go to Dustin.
I know it's a way out, but the forecast for Bristol is pretty mild. Like could be somewhat chilly at night. So how nervous are you that the tire situation could be one of those crazy degradation races if it's just cool enough to trigger that?
It definitely could happen. I feel like they have a good grasp on what makes that happen or not, and I think it has to do with the amount of PJ1 that they use, or the type that the resin didn't work. Like that's what I feel like. That's if they use nothing, like if they make a really light like pass across the track with that, and they don't put that PJ1 down within like that 3 foot, 4 foot range on the bottom, then there's a good shot that tire degradation stuff happens. Like if they just put less down. So that's what I think. If every time they try not to put that stuff down on the bottom, then it's gonna really marble up and do all that crazy tire stuff. So yeah, that would be interesting. That would throw a little thing in the plans. It would change the game a little bit if that happens.
And we'll wrap with Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. With your bigger involvement with the organization, does that and any of that go back to your experiences with the bull riding team and getting more involved? And if so, how so? Because it'd be easy to maybe see how busy you are, that's more of a ceremonial position with the bull
Yeah.
riding thing.
At this point, I wish it was ceremonial sometimes, but I'm constantly working pretty good with those guys, team psychologists sometimes. We're struggling right now for the first time. And but I've learned a lot, man. I learned a ton. It's interesting from that side of I probably feel for my grandfather at certain times a lot more, because you're a lot of things are out of your control in the end. You're trying to put together the greatest teams and the greatest group of guys you can, and sometimes it just doesn't work out, and you got to figure out, you got to stick with your people, you got to be there for them when it matters, and it makes you grow up a lot in that position. So yeah, I think it's been helpful, and I think it allows me to sympathize with him on certain things, and you learn a lot from that, so it's good.
So what is Austin Dillon, team psychologist, like? I don't think that's a term many of us would put together with you or thought of thinking of that. So
what am I like? I'm just try to be there for your guys like a team. I mean, I've been in a lot of sports settings all the way back. You guys always talk about Little League World Series. Had some great coaches, some great teammates, and sports in general has shaped the person I feel like I am. And I've had some great racing teams that won championships with, and I still have relationships with those guys, and it goes a long way. And the current team I have is a great team, and I have a great crew chief leader who gets sports, gets human interaction, because it's a long season, it's a grind, and you go up through ups and downs, and you lose a lot. And winning is a blessing and a curse. It teaches you, when you're winning all the time, it's hard to understand certain things. So when you lose, it really teaches you a lot more. And so you learn a lot more of what kind of person you are when you lose, and who the people you have around you. Because winning is great and easy, everybody loves you. But when you start to struggle, those are the people that like, all right, the guy that comes out of that's the person I want to be around, because they are, no matter what adversity they hit, they're going to come out the other side of it. So that's the type of stuff I feel like. As you go through those things, you're not going to win constantly. You're the best in the world. There's only a few of those people, the GOATs, that do it. But at some point in their career, they probably lost, and they figured it out earlier than most. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, Austin. Well, thanks for coming in, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, guys.